Hey guys, it's expandas. In this video, I'm going to be talking about my thought process while flying transport helicopters. I'll be telling you guys what's happening on the ground and why I make the decisions that I make. I'm playing with MLP Darktan and several members of the Team Synthic community, and we are on a 24/7 Guilin Peaks server located in France. My ping is around 160 milliseconds, so it isn't ideal conditions. But I do have a capable gunner, and we do have a team on the ground. So right now we're just mopping up Charvy and getting some quick kills. Uh, Once it's clear, I check my minimap, which is bound to caps lock for easy access. And I notice that Bravo is being contested by at least one or two squads. Now, the thing about this flag is that if they're coming from Delta, they can always shoot down from those ledges, so you always want to be higher than those ledges. Right now I'm about 100, 150 meters away, 50 meters up, and giving my gunners a shot. Darktan's on the left, so I make sure to give gunner priority to him, and because I have a repper, I can take some of these hits and be a little bit more aggressive than normal. Knowing that we can simply repair any damage that we experience. That is an unlucky hit. If you notice, we flipped over and I pressed E immediately. This is to try to salvage the chopper. Sometimes um, the chopper will stay alive if the driver's seat is empty. You also saw this effect in Battlefield 3. Anyways, we're taking a couple stinger hits and we're just trying to be effective here, but we're forced to play this low altitude game and to use some of the foliage and rocks to our advantage here. Don't be afraid when that happens because it's necessary. If people are pressuring you with stingers, you have to adapt somehow. Uh, right now it's okay. We're getting nice shots. There was a transport chopper that was above us, but because he wasn't pressuring us, I chose not to engage. I do have him spotted though. Always spot your targets. And we're just supporting our team, making sure that they can push up without being flanked. Their chopper makes a run for it now and tries to hit us. But I check using third person, and I notice that he does not have a repair guy. So this becomes a straightforward engagement. We outnumber him 3-2, and we just, as long as I can give Dark Tan a stable shot, he should be able to take out the enemy. After taking it out, I immediately dive. I find that diving is a lot better than just simply holding S, because your flight path is less predictable. But you'll notice that we get pressured by stingers immediately, and we're kind of forced to play this low altitude game again, and but that's okay. When if you can master the terrain and the cover on this map, you can do really well in the face of all these stingers. I move up now because I don't get locked, and I want to give my Darktan, who's on the right side now, a better position. The closer you are to a target, obviously, the easier it is to acquire and to shoot him. And so right now I'm trying to use that rock to absorb some of the incoming missiles, and but I think either due to timing or latency, I'm just not able to do that effectively. I'm getting hit, and I'm not sure if that missile is flying through the rocks, but we're just not being incredibly effective here. But what does happen is that our team does cap Bravo, and even though we are forced to continually repair up and um, reform up, we've done our job and we're pulling out, and we make a break for the edge of the map where we can hopefully use the terraces to break line of sight. I want to keep moving here, so I keep spinning and I don't fight the mobility disable mechanic. This preserves my horizontal velocity, um, and it's more viable around the edges when you don't have trees to worry about. But right now I'm pulling back up. I do have flares again, and when I get locked by two this time, I panic a little bit. I want to put the rock on the right side to block line of sight, and then use my gunner on my left to kill the enemy stinger. And I think he does manage to take it out, but I get a little paranoid and I try to run back to Bravo. In hindsight, I could have probably stuck around and done some more damage here. Was a precarious position. I hovered here because Dark Tan said he could shoot some guys inside that cave, but it just doesn't seem that tenable with some of the damage that we're receiving, and we don't have Bravo anymore either. So I pull back, and I get this lucky roadkill. Don't recommend doing that if you're a beginner, just because you've got 4 guys that are depending on you not to mess up. But it's, we're getting stingered and we're getting hit, but it's okay because we have 2 reppers. And remember, when you're flat on the ground, oh wow, that missile actually flew straight through the chopper. But when you're flat on the ground, you can't get flipped. So if you know that they're just coming after you with stingers, don't be afraid to plant that chopper on the ground and to take some of those hits. You can do that. It's better to get to take your chances with basic damage than getting flipped upside down. But we ended up pulling out, and we're hitting Alpha now because there's less enemy resistance here. They do spawn on us immediately, though, which forces us to pull back. When they surround you on 3 sides like that, you really want to get out of there because you don't have eyes on the back of your head, obviously, and it's a lot easier to deal with enemies that are just in one direction as opposed to all 3. We move on to another flag here. I plant the chopper on the ground to wrap up, and I give my gunner his shot before hiding behind cover, flying a little bit high above the ground here just to bait for any stingers. Seeing none, we go back for the cap, and I do check my minimap. I notice that there's an enemy transport on Bravo, so that's going to be our next target. You always want to take out the enemy transport first. Because they were stingering us from the right, I'm going to take a route around the left. And I'm flying relatively high so we don't get spotted by infantry. And just trying to spot that chopper. He ends up being above us, as you can see by those tracers, and I twist around, giving both my gunners a shot. Remember that the Venom has minigun convergence, which means that both gunners can fire at targets directly at the center without experiencing a dead zone, which makes the U.S. faction's transport helicopter overpowered compared to all the others in most scenarios. I'm using the mountain here to break line of sight with those missiles, and our squad mates are capping Charlie, so we can pressure Bravo now. I do flare for the stinger, and I see the repair guy, and I immediately pressure him before he can reload. Dark Tan gets the kill, and then we're back at our, classic Bravo position now, helping our teammates push up. We get hit by this unlucky RPG, but because we have reppers, we can just retreat and fight another time. Never push a bad position. It's always better to regroup. Especially when you have a chopper that can fly around and has such great mobility, you have no excuse to do that. Right now I'm micro thrusting, I'm just tapping W, so my gunners don't have to compensate for my mouse movements as much. Now if you've noticed gunning, it's a lot easier to hit targets when your pilot is just kind of hovering or not really making huge adjustments compared to when he's flying nose into the ground and at a 30-degree angle. But right now, I hear from Dark Tan that there's a guy trying to RPG us, so I kind of lift up here and he gets the kill. We're all on TeamSpeak, by the way, and I use this ledge to see if there are any other threats in the area. I do see that transport chopper, but because there are stingers on our left, I try to make a break around around the mountain before engaging the chopper. Once we have the mountain covering us, we can put both miniguns onto the target without fearing, getting double teamed or anything like that. And it just becomes a straightforward engagement. We have repairs, he doesn't stand a chance. But we are getting hit by a lot of stingers. We're really high up right now, and I have to make a break for Alpha. Notice that I'm angling the chopper every time the missile is about to hit. This is to combat the impulse effect of the stingers and to avoid getting knocked or flipped on my side or upside down. When I do go for the cap here, I try to take the opposite side as my teammates, and I'm staying mobile. Never, like when you're capping a flag, try not to be completely stationary. It's really easy for anyone with an RPG to ruin your day. Um, right here we get the cap, and I actually get a little greedy here. I probably should have backed off, but at this point there's just so many stingers coming for us, and I do go for the low altitude maneuver again, but I should have probably stayed there because this next barrage, which is 3 or 4 of them, end up knocking us, killing us over. So, but overall, a decent run. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.